true.
Sure.
I think
Any other?
Keep it broad.
Hmm?
Keep it broad.
Keep it broad.
Someone who can apply their skills for a variety of situations.
Effective? Skillful? Something like that? Rather than a non-effective one? Effective facilitator? We could, so there's, you know, and each little thing you put in here could change what you get. But if we use an effective, probably would do the job.
Competencies imply effectiveness.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, could, you're right. Could be. So that's a sample of a focus question. So you want to have that eye on the wall so everyone can see it the whole time. And then I'll show you what we're going to do. On page 27, you'll see the process we're going to follow. Page 27 has the process. But first of all, when you're going to be doing a workshop, you have to set a context on what you're going to do. And so I'll do that shortly. Then, oh, by the way, you have to have a rational and experiential aim. You must, any facilitator for anything needs to have these rational experiential aims. So for this one, it's like, you know, yeah, well, we want to figure it. We want to figure out what are the competencies. We want to decide the competencies. And the experiential aim here is probably, I would like to make sure that you're confident that you can use the method. That would be what I would be after this. Then, after we set the context, then there's going to be brainstorming, and everyone will get to brainstorm their answer to this question. And then we're going to start looking. We're going to get ideas up on the wall. We're going to cluster them. You look for patterns. Then we're going to name them, and then finally we're going to build our resolve. And what does that really mean? What have we created here? Okay, so that's what we'll do, and it will take an hour and a quarter to do all that shop. We're going to do a consensus workshop. And many people hear the word workshop and they think, well, where's the experts? Or where's the panel? They hear the word workshop, they think, oh, panel, experts. Well, this is not that type of workshop. And so you want to let people know that in this type of workshop, here are the assumptions. First, that everybody in the room has got wisdom. Life gives you wisdom, just life itself. We need all that wisdom for the wisest result for this workshop. We need it all. Third, there's no wrong answers. So anything you say is going to have value to it, and it's my job as a facilitator to dig it out, find out. So what someone might say, well, that's a stupid answer you give, but it doesn't matter. We need to dig it out and find out the real reality of it, what's important there. The whole is greater than the sum of parts. So this is a hard one to explain, but I think that what we're going to end up here with is something that's brand new, that includes not only everyone's wisdom, but also maybe shifts our thinking about what the topic is. Sort of a paradigm shift, maybe. And finally, everyone will hear and hear others. I can assure you that in this workshop, this will happen. Everyone will hear others and be heard. And if you let people know this ahead of time, they will relax, because now they know the type that you're not talking about a panel who's going to give answers, that it's going to be a highly participatory workshop. So that's a good one to mention. And the last thing in the context is highlight the focus question. So here, it's what are the competencies of an effective facilitator? Make sure it's clear. It's up here high on the wall, because we use this space. And then finally it says, you may use the focus conversation to focus the group on a topic. If you do, make it clear it's short. So you could actually do anything to focus people on this topic. You could have someone do a quick PowerPoint presentation. You could have someone give a little 5-minute speech on the topic. I like to do a little conversation on it. Okay, key question. Okay, so we're sort of in it now a little bit. So now we can go to this question up here, which is, what are the competencies of an effective facilitator? Now, if you wouldn't mind, please writing down your answers to that question. Try to get 5 or 6. Okay. Okay, now, according to this page, the next thing we do is brainstorm as a group. So we're going to get in little groups and do this. And I think we're going to have 4 groups of 3, which give you 12, and another group of 2, which give you 14. Now, for this particular group, actually it would be good to separate, you go to different groups, okay, this time. Okay? So you can go to different groups. So people get to experience, the struggle that language is for people. Okay, so that's a good. So now you can pick whoever you want to work with. So you were in teams yesterday, you know, find some new people you haven't worked with, and some of you will work here, some of you work there, some of you can work in that back room over here, but this is only a 15-minute exercise. This is not a long thing. So you have to figure out which group you're going to go into, no more than 3, okay, no more than 3, and there's going to be one group of 2. And your assignment, however, is to go through your lists and come up with 6 that you can put on index cards, like this. And when I do the index cards, you want to put one idea on each card. So you'll have 6 different ideas, maybe 7. If you could make sure that you print in bold letters, you can see that from the back of the room, right? So you want it nice and big and bold using magic marker, not on pencil or pen, magic marker. And if you could use 4 to 7 words per card. So we don't want really one-word answers, don't help much. One-word answers don't say much. You don't want an essay, however, because you can't read it from the back. If you have an essay, you're welcome to do that, but write it on the back and make sure the front is 4 to 7 words. Okay? And what we have is I have a little stack here of, let's say, 6 or 7 cards for each group of people. So you may pick who you want to work with, and you come and pick some of these cards. Take some magic markers with you, and you will have about, from now until, let's say, 5 till 10. Now, here's one little thing, is you do not have to agree in your group of 3 people. This is not required that you agree with each other. It is helpful that when you read out your lists to each other, that if you find that you're all saying the same thing, we'll get that written down. But if you have diametrically opposed ideas, that's fine, write them both down, you know? So you don't have to agree. Okay, is it sort of clear what you're doing? All right, once you got yourself organized? Okay, so you can all be back here, you know, at like 10 o'clock or a little earlier than that. Okay? And, you know, and you're welcome to go back to your seat later if you like. But now what you need to do, though, is take your cards and spread them out in front of you so you can see them all. So the 3 or 2 of you can see all your cards. Because what we're going to be doing now in this clustering process is getting the cards up front and then looking for the patterns in them. However, if we put up all the cards at once, any idea how many we're going to have up here?
How many groups do we
Well, there's, what, 5 groups? 30, 40 maybe. Some people did 7, some people did 6, so it's a lot. You're going to get lost in data. So we're going to get these a few at a time up here. So I would like you now to look at your cards and pick out the 2 that are the clearest. The 2 clearest cards that you have. I mean, everyone can read them and they'll know what they mean real easily. Okay? Get the 2 clear cards. They're all coming around and collect them. I'm going to put all these. I'm going to put them on the front wall, and we'll look at them together. But there's too many if we put them all at once. So put them up a few at a time, and we'll read these out. So let's take a look. We have in answer to the response. What are the competencies of an effective facilitator? Well, one competency is good organizational planning. Flexible. Ability to match process with needs of client. Flexible, able to go with the flow, anticipate the unanticipated, and think on feet. Organized, pre-work, during follow-up. Now you notice how I'm doing this. I'm putting them up and reading them. Not afraid to be decisive and directive. I'm not doing this. Focused on objectives. For this. Organized, prepared, and keeps moving. Courage to organize, prepared, courage to address issues as they arise. Organized, prepared, and keeps the group moving. And the last one here is neutral, perspective, and communication. So you can see them and I'm reading them out, so you're getting both at once there, the verbal and visual. Okay, so we have these cards up. Now what I'd like to do is I would like to look for pairs of cards that are similar, only pairs. So does anyone see two cards that are similar?
Organized free work and good organization.
This one here,
And then good
and
organization of planning.
where?
The one in black.
This one, these
Yeah.
two. Okay. All right. I'm going to put these up, and as soon as I have a pair, I'm going to put a little symbol on them, okay? I'm going to stick a little symbol on this, and we'll call this the O's, okay? O. All right, another pair. Prepare. Which one? This one?
Yes.
And what's it like? A pair? Oh, it's like this one.
Oh, yeah, we're new.
Yeah,
pair.
but I'm sticking with pairs right now. So this might fit here, but I just want pairs at the moment. Okay, only two. Just two. Another two.
Flexible and flexible.
This one and...
Yes.
Work.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I forgot. I now made a mistake. I should have asked. As soon as you have the 10 up front, you ask, are there any questions of clarification? Are there any questions of clarification of any of these cards? Okay.
So, I did.
What was it?
Match process with needs of client, so, aren't you providing the process?
Yeah, and that's, that you can read your clients well enough to know what process to use.
This one here, right? Say it again.
So you meet with your clients, you assess their needs, and you're able to come up with a process that meets their needs.
Does that answer your question?
Oh, we can move on, that's fine.
Is it clear what the card means? Whether you agree with it or not doesn't matter, but do you understand what they mean?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question that neutral perspective and communication, does that mean the neutral communication as well?
Yes.
What kind of communication?
Yes, it does.
Neutral communication. Okay.
Neutral communication. Okay. So, oh, here's another two, so I'm going to put another symbol up here. I'll put this, the pluses on these two. Are there any other pairs, by the way? Any other pairs here? No. Let's, yes.
Not afraid to be decisive and directive, and courage to address issues as they arise.
This one and this one. Okay. Well, oh, by the way, what's similar about those? What's the
It's-
similarity?
It's courage. I mean, it has the same intent, the other one, as we had in our group.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You may notice, I don't know if you noticed, but as I put these up, I move them, and then I look around quickly, just scan a body language to see if anyone's sitting there frowning or going.
Or we're nodding.
Like, I'm sort of looking for it. But no one's doing that, so I'm sticking them where they are, okay? Any more pairs? Okay, and we have three pairs, so are there any other cards that now can fit in these particular ones? And I think you have one, right? Young, you have saying one fits? Well, I'll open it up and open up to three now. I'll call them a three. So which one did you have?
You were saying the organized one goes in this one?
This is like this column. Yeah? Okay. Now then, let's get some more cards up. Let's get some more cards. So give me another two. This time, give me two that are, you're confident about them. You're very confident about these. Okay, two that you're very confident about. Whatever that means for you. Okay.
That one maybe?
Yeah.
So, did I get yours already?
Yeah.
Okay. This was create the open mood. Use humor.
So you got the whole bookshelf.
Here's one. Good active listening skills.
So in English, and then
Models non-judgmental behavior. Oh, that's a stupid card.
he made a mistake.
No judgment.
He's judging.
No judgment.
I thought I was using humor.
You did that.
Okay, creating a comfortable environment. Active listener and communicator. Self-awareness of FTs.
facilitator's role.
Oh, facilitator's role, neutrality and power dynamics.
Power dynamic.
Good present, oops. Awareness and management of self. Good presentation and communication skills. Charismatic, lively, engaging, and friendly. And allow all to share thoughts. Are there any of these cards that you would like to ask a question of clarification about?
It's open mean, create the open mean.
What does that mean?
It means setting an environment where people feel free and comfortable to talk
Okay.
and are almost prepared to enjoy themselves in the process.
Almost prepared.
As you are today.
Okay, any other ones that need clarification for you? Okay. And if you did, you go back and ask the group who wrote it. So you don't let people guess at what they think it means. Okay. Oh, no, okay, now, are there any new pairs? Any new pairs, first of all? Okay, pick one. Give us a new pair.
Well, comfortable environment, creating a comfortable environment and an open mood, I think are quite similar.
There's similarity there?
They're certainly similar.
Okay. So I'm going to move these up here and put another symbol on them. We'll move this one down and put a symbol on it. And this time we'll put a little square on it. Okay. Any other pairs?
I'd like to have awareness of management, awareness and management of self and self-awareness as well.
These two. Okay. Put another symbol on it, put a little star on this one. Okay, now, we've got 5 pairs. Do any of these other ones start fitting in these, or do we have any new pairs? So you can either move these up into the existing columns or come up with new ones.
Active listener and
And
active listening skills.
communications,
Which one? Which one? This one here?
The green one and the red one.
The green and the
Red one.
red or brown one, huh? Okay. There we go. And we'll put a little check mark on that. Okay. Move that down. My sense of order here is there. Okay. Any others that fit in these categories? What are these called? Yeah.
So the communication skills and presentation skills, do they go with the active listening and the communication up there with the check mark?
And the reason being,
Could.
what's your
Well,
reason?
it's communication.
It's all to do with sort of communication?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, any other ones here that sort of fit?
What about the,
Neutral, oh, there you go, sorry.
didn't mean to interrupt you. It's like a new pairing, the neutral perspective,
The neutral perspective,
with models non-judgmental behavior.
these two. And what's the relationship between those two?
The neutrality, like non-judgmental and neutrality.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Put a little, what's that, omega on these ones? Okay, there's still another 3 or 4 there. Do they fit anywhere?
Perhaps the ability to manage process with needs of client.
Ability to match the process with needs of client goes with.
I was going to say the first one, organized, but that's not exactly the same thing.
Okay, and what's the insight, if you put it here? What's the relationship?
Is that your preparation is matching with your the needs of your client. So it
Yeah.
adds a little bit of a flavor to the good organization.
Yeah? Okay.
I guess then I would put focus on objectives there too.
You move this one there too.
Yeah.
And what's the relationship you see?
So the objectives define the outcome or desired outcome for the day. You match your process with the needs of the client based on those objectives, and you create an
Okay.
organizational setting that works for them.
That, I just need to say that focus on objectives is our part, and
Yeah.
it was more the intent of during the workshop to keep everyone on the same path, to keep them moving to reach
Oh, I see.
the day rather than the planning piece.
Okay. So you're saying this doesn't necessarily fit?
I don't know if I see it fitting there, but
Okay. All right.
So they look
Doesn't
at
really
our
well,
project,
the
give us
first
a
one's
match the
similar to that,
process
though.
with the needs of client would would be separate as well.
These ones here?
I think the ability to match process with needs client would be in the flexible stream.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Well, pick one. Which one relates to the pluses?
The ability to match process with.
This one here specifically, okay? And the relationship there is what?
I just seen being flexible and adaptable with the needs of the group that you're.
Okay.
That's my interpretation.
All right. I see nods and I see. So we'll hold that one. What about this one? And you were seeing this one might also fit over there. And someone said these two might fit. Yeah? No?
I wonder if that actually fits with the triangle up there, the
Which, this one?
ability to be directive and not afraid to address issues.
Yeah.
Where's
Triangle,
that?
that's
Focus
better.
on objectives.
The triangle?
Yeah, focus.
The triangle.
Yeah,
Here.
yeah.
I would
That's what-
disagree.
The way that
You would disagree.
That's the way they describe
Okay,
it.
let's find out first of all, what relationship do you see?
The way it was described, it sounded like kind of keeping the group focused on what was necessary and moving them along, which seems to be some of the other that's behind that, not afraid to be decisive and directive with the group.
And what you're seeing is,
I would see that as a skill and a technique, as the other two are almost a personal quality to be divorced from.
okay,
You
and,
can do both of those, but they're separate entities.
Okay.
One
Well, the way
without the other.
the way I would see it, if we were to expand the meaning of the triangle, you're having the courage to be able to focus on the objective, to keep things on track.
But you can expand the meaning of all and have everything fit into everything.
It's true, but I think that.
Okay, now hold it, now, and you're saying, what were you mentioning, Young? Okay, Katie's gonna,
Katie, translation.
It's okay. We're talking about it.
yeah,
고객의 니즈를 정확히 파악해서 그것을 워크숍의 목표에 반영한다는 점에서는 able to match process with needs client focus on objective 가지고
Right. Basically, his interpretation is those two actually has the same thread because they're, focus on objective, meaning that they're actually reflecting those client needs onto the objectives.
so you're seeing these two fit together.
So I actually, even in the context in which you described it, I think I think those two do go together because you have to have the ability, depending on the nature of the conversation, it isn't just about having courage. It's about being able to match the process during the flow of the meeting with the needs of the client. If the needs of the client change during the flow of the meeting, you have to be able to match that to keep them focused on their objective.
One more?
Is it
Yeah.
possible that the ability to match the process with the client, with the needs of the client, is overarching over a few?
Oh, yes, is
Oh.
it possible? This might be a big thing up here. Could be. But you're saying that you can see a relationship with these two.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Oh, yes, I can.
You can.
Yeah.
Also, when we wrote the not afraid to be decisive and directive under the triangle, our idea in mind was having the needs of the client and being focused on objectives.
So this one here, the meaning of it is more closely related to these two.
It's about the same idea of keeping things moving.
Keeping things moving and focused and on task sort of stuff. Okay, so that's interesting. So that's the meaning they saw, even though someone else saw the relationship here.
Maybe charismatic benefits under courage.
What's this? This one could be here because why?
Oh, no, sorry. Not courage, mood.
The mood.
The square
Yeah,
behind
sorry,
Bill.
yeah. Misspoke, sorry.
Where?
Charismatic is
Oh,
the
yes.
square?
Yes. What about it?
Environment.
What, this one is like that?
Yeah, lively, engaging.
Lively, engaging, humor, charismatic, that sort of thing?
Comfortable environment.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Allow all shared thoughts going into the box.
Okay. Now, by the way, you'll notice here that as soon as someone mentions one, I move it there immediately to honor what they said. Then we can discuss it. But if I don't move it there, then they're wondering, why didn't he move it there? Did he not hear me? So I move it up here, then we discuss it, and we can pull it apart. Well, that's why you have cards that move. They move around. So you have a point.
Share is more of the box as well.
Oh, well, all the share thoughts is like
Create
a
open
box.
and comfortable.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we now have, okay, so we now have, let's just move this over here like that. And this one is by itself. So we have a series, so there's a pattern. There's a pattern starting to occur. You may disagree with the individual cards, but the pattern is there. So take a look at your cards and see if any of those fit in this pattern. And if it does, put a little symbol on it. If it fits the pattern, put a symbol on it. And I'm going to make another little symbol here for this last one. What you're going to do now is hand me up the cards that do not fit.
No, but I don't understand. Okay, so if you have this where we fit better. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, folks, now listen for a second. I'm now going to ask you to send up the cards that do not fit. So you have some symbols on them. Keep those. Send me up the ones that don't fit anywhere. Okay. Here's one. The ones that do not fit. That do not have a symbol on it. You see what happens? We've got a nice pattern here and we think, oh, we got it all wrapped up. Well, we want to open it back up again, right? Any that don't fit? Both?
We're not sure.
All right. Okay, this one does something? Better put a symbol on it then.
On the back.
Okay. So here's another 4. So this says, trust the process. Sensitive to the needs of individuals. Good multitasking. Conflict management. Okay, now the people who put those up didn't see, but maybe there's a pair in there, or maybe someone else does see a relationship.
I see the good multitasking as being organized.
The good multitasking is related to the
Connection to being organized, the O.
the O's.
Yeah.
It's either that or being flexible.
Either that or being flexible. That
Oh,
one. So, okay, tell us, what's the relationship here?
For me,
Yeah.
it's that part of being organized is being able to do multiple things at once.
That's part of being
But it
Look at
depends
that.
how you define organized.
Okay, and this one over here was where?
Flexible.
The plus?
Well, I guess I think it's also, my perception is it might also be flexible, like being able to handle different balls in the air at the same time.
All
like-
right. Okay, now the folks who wrote this, did you have that little dialogue?
Yeah,
And you decided no, it wasn't either of those?
because we have one symbol for those categories.
Huh?
We put flexible up and say organizational planning as distinct too, so we thought this was separate as well. We thought this was not so much on the preparation side, this was more process oriented.
So you're saying those have to do with preparation?
Yeah.
Good organization plan.
This have, okay, you're now just making a distinction. Those are the prep, these aren't. Okay?
So an example is that you're
This is in the
organizing
moment. In the moment.
Yes.
yeah, and you're also checking out the nonverbal communication. So when you're doing this, you're doing a number
Okay.
of things. I
Okay.
think that's
So then,
what makes
you're,
sense.
Jennifer, you're saying that these have to do with being able to do several things at once or being flexible. So that's the relationship you're seeing.
That's how I see it.
Is that close enough? I mean, that might be a card all by itself, but
It's closer there than I
Yeah.
think.
Closer there.
In the organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
now what about these other ones here?
Do you think the sensitive to needs of individuals goes with the square?
This could be a square maybe. Okay. And why is that?
It's all about the atmosphere and the mood of.
Okay, making sure the atmosphere and mood and all that, okay. All right, so there's 2 more here. Conflict management and trusting the process.
Conflict management could be with courage to address issues as they arise.
This one here, related over to this one, huh? And what do you see, why would you suggest that?
Well, I think that in order to manage conflict well, you have to have the courage to address it when it happens in a way that's respectful.
Yeah, okay.
It could also go under the check mark in terms of communication skills.
Or you need these to do this maybe or something. By the way, I just started making comments on the content. I shouldn't be doing that.
This is, to me, this is mine, so I just see it more related to the courage to
In
progress.
here. Okay. All right. Now then, trust process.
I think that's if you're really organized.
Yeah.
The result of that is that you will trust the process. So you've designed it,
Yeah.
whatever, and you can fall back on that.
That you have a process you can trust.
I think it goes into the star as well, because awareness of self as a facilitator.
Ah, awareness over here. What is that one?
Is that a competency?
Is it, well, let's say, what is the insight here? What is the insight contained in this card?
Confidence.
We had a similar card here that we categorized as the box. Ours is called instill confidence in the process.
Instill confidence in the process, and you put it under the box.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
As
Like
part of
the
the
mood.
atmosphere.
So let's just look at this one. Trust the process. What's the? Someone wrote this, so just tell us a little bit more about what this means.
Well, I had like this, an unknown actually who actually wrote that, and we wrote it. Actually, we sorry. I had like this, what is it? It's sort of in a way like trust the people, who actually to trust participants, and also sort of as a facilitator, being flexible because facilitator puts the confidence in the participant. That's what.
So part of it is related to this one over here. Part of it is related to, where's another one you mentioned? Could be many places. This could be one of those big ones too, from up here someplace, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well let's put it aside. Let's put it here for the moment. Now, the rest of your cards apparently all fit someplace. So do you have an idea?
내 생각에는 저 트러스트 프로세스라는 게 퍼실리테이팅 할 때 자기의 생각이나 관점 이런 것들을 옮기는 것이 아니라 정해져 있는 기준과 원칙을 지키면서 해라.
Right.
그런 의미에서는 뮤추얼 쪽이 더 쓰는 사람은 어떨지 모르지만 그런 의미가 있죠.
Ah.
Young also commented that it also has some neutrality point because it's sticking to the principles and the guidelines that they have as set up as for the process.
So it allows you to be neutral because you could, okay. You have a process, you don't have to worry about it. Oh, interesting. Okay, great. Good. Okay, good. Now, let's take a look at the rest of your cards. You may now bring them up and stick them where you think they belong.
Thank you.
Now, that took about half an hour to do. Okay, about half an hour to do all. And you see, there's a pattern there. We don't know what the pattern is, but there's a pattern. So now we want to name patterns, but we do want to name this. So the way you name it now is you pick a column, usually the longest one, and we read them all out, and we talk about it, and then we put a name on it. So let's do that now. This one here says, create the open mood, use humor, creating a comfortable environment. Charismatic, lively, engaging, friendly, allow all to share thoughts, sensitive to the needs of individuals, instill confidence in the process. Creating fun, engaging environment. Shares time, break, lunch, and close. What words stood out as I read that? What words stood out?
Environment.
Environment. Keep going. Other words?
Comfortable.
Comfortable.
Creating.
Creating.
Engaging.
What's this column all about that makes it different than all the other columns?
Atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
Yeah.
This is about atmosphere, okay.
Space.
So what?
Space.
Space and atmosphere, okay.
The tone of, like, the tone.
The tone of everything. So now, what is the one competence that these are all pointing to? What is the competence of an effective facilitator?
The ability to create the environment or space in which the process will take place.
The ability to create an environment.
Yes.
Positive environment.
The ability to create a positive environment. Does that work?
Yes.
I'd say create and sustain.
The ability to create and sustain a positive environment.
Builds trust. How about whatever the same.
I like to use a different color for this, by the way, so use a different color. And you know, you want to have a little discussion with this, and you're at some point you have to sort of nail one down. So let's just get this. The ability to, what was it, create and sustain?
Yeah, create and sustain.
Create and sustain.
Create
Positive.
and sustain a positive environment. All right, there. Not bad. That was pretty fast. That's a lot quicker than it can usually go. But sometimes you have these people in the room who have highly developed interpretive level skills that can just nail it, right? And when that happens, you thank your lucky stars. So there's one. Let's pick another long one. This one here. Organized, pre-work, during the follow-up, during and follow-up, good organizational planning. Organized, prepared, keeps group moving. Organized, process, design, toolkit, detailed, oriented, planner. What words stood out? Organized, what else? Words, just the words. Preparation, okay? Preparation, planning, okay. Now, what's the special nature of this column? What makes this different than all the others?
Preparatory.
It's a preparatory thing, okay?
No, it's not all preparatory.
Not all preparatory. Go ahead.
Well, in ours, it was pre-work, during, and follow-up.
Keeps them moving, okay, yeah. And follow-up too, isn't there? Okay, and follow, okay. So,
So is that like following the agenda, be able to follow
Well,
the
like if
agenda
you do
items?
strategic planning, you have to be organized in terms of getting the product back to the client.
Ah.
And during, you've got the structure and the process for them to follow through.
okay, so all that's in there. Okay.
Organized and structured, or
Okay, so what is the competence now? And let's start with the ability to. So this is the ability to what?
Effectively organize.
The ability to effectively organize.
Actually, I think it's effectively plan and organize.
Ability to effect. Now, I would like to avoid using these words here because we're just self-referential, right? So it's the ability to be an effective facilitator is the ability to be effectively planned. No, the ability to be would be to plan and organize. The ability to plan and organize. Does that work?
Yeah, if you plan and organize badly, they'll have to put, I think.
The ability to, yeah. What is it then?
Efficiently?
Efficiently.
I was just gonna say there has to be something that explains the need for thorough organization.
Thorough.
Thorough.
The effective is thoroughly plan and organize. Does that work?
Thorough.
Okay.
That would be the follow-up, which we always forget about that.
Thoroughly plan and organize. Oh, wow, okay. Those little adjectives that add so much, right? Okay, so here's one. Put that one up there. We've got two done. So let's pick another. Here's a long one over here. Flexible, able to go with the flow. Anticipate the unanticipated, think on feet. Flexible, good multitasking, sensitivity to what's happening, and adapt. Flexible, adaptable, flexible. What words stood out for you here?
The ability to be flexible.
Flexible, okay, now, someone always wants to jump to name it. I want to discuss it a little bit, okay. So, the words that stand out are flexible, what else? Adaptable, what else? Sensitive, okay. Now, what's this column all about? Now, this is a very unique column, different from all the other ones. So what's this one all about? What's the special nature of this?
It's the ability to hold all the dynamics at play.
Yeah.
like adapt to the flow of the meeting. Like you want to keep the flow of the river of the conversation.
Okay, you want the
Be
flow going.
flexible.
Okay, we talked about this one enough? We could talk longer about it, just get lots of ideas out, but now we want to name it. So the competence here is the ability to
Adapt and
Be flexible.
the ability to adapt and be flexible. Okay. The ability to adapt and be flexible.
you may not like this question, but
Says there's no
there's no wrong answers, I'll ask you.
Go ahead.
But there are some wrong questions.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Damn.
I had to.
But anyway. But
Yes, go ahead.
These are qualities, not competencies. You know, if I can be very adaptable and very flexible, and I can be extremely incompetent.
Yeah, now let me ask, are you saying that everything up here is a quality, or that this particular one is a quality?
I am struggling, and I perhaps
Go ahead.
should have spoken earlier, but these qualities of a good facilitator or competencies. And,
So, okay.
and right now, I think that the ability to adapt, to create and sustain, that's probably a competency. The ability to be, that's probably a competency, but I see the ability to adapt, to be flexible as more of a quality.
What would you call this then? What is the competence that's being pointed to here?
I don't.
They may be qualities, but what is the competence embedded in that?
Can I get back to you on that one?
Sure, yeah, yeah. You see, the thing is, everybody else got this, I mean, for other people, they don't have a problem with the competence here.
Yeah, I know, yeah, I know, yeah.
But you may have some little special insight, but if you do, it's
Yeah.
going to show up in naming this more clearly.
Right, okay. No, it's, to be honest, I will not lose sleep over this particular issue, but I
Over another one, maybe, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Over the bagels, yeah. But anyway, it's just,
Okay.
it's a little annoying thing.
Yeah, sure, yeah,
That's all.
yeah. By the way, you see, you have to, person after you gotta honor it, you gotta talk about it, you gotta find what's going on there, you gotta find out, you know, and
Entertain
you gotta entertain everybody.
That's right.
You know.
No, but you might come up with something
And
in 2 minutes.
there might be, just by
Yeah,
changing a
fine.
word or two, suddenly it just, it adds a whole dimension in there of, what was it, character? No, a character? Quality? You could add that whole element of quality in here somewhere just by adding a word in there, but. Now, at this point, as a facilitator, you're saying to yourself, geez, how much time do I have, right? So you're struggling with time and everything else. So when it comes to this point, you've got 3 named. People know how to name. So now I could actually farm this out to you to do, probably, and you do a good job. So why don't the 3 of you take this one? And the 3 of you take this one. And the 3 of you take this one, the triangle. And the 2 of you take this one. And the 3 of you take this one. And what you're trying to do is to come up with a title like this, the ability to, that sort of captures what the, you know, what you sense the consensus is on that competence. Okay? And you want to use words that are up there if you can.
We have half an hour for this.
You have about 5 minutes for this. Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh, there's 2 done. 2, 3. I know we got 3 done.
I think we need the ability to.
4 done.
Everybody knows what.
Okay, and the group at the back is being very precise. Oh, they're almost done.
Oh, there's a section.
I think I mentioned that.
We're not in that, we're not.
Okay.
That's all we're trying to get. 80-20.
Okay, good. Now, this is
All of
great.
us acknowledged that it wasn't perfect, but it was good.
It was good, okay.
As a group, we had consensus on.
Acknowledging, okay. So, in answer to the question, what are the competencies of an effective facilitator? We have, well, the ability to thoroughly plan and organize. The ability to create and sustain a positive environment. The ability to listen actively and communicate clearly. The ability to remain neutral and not judgmental. The ability to trust and follow the process. The willingness and ability to manage conflict. The ability to adapt and be flexible, and the ability to acknowledge and manage one's own preconceptions and emotions. Wow. Wow. First of all, which of these titles, just a few people can answer this, which of these titles do you think, boy, that really nailed it? That really states it well. Which of these are like that?
The communication.
Yeah.
That does it well for you, All right. By the way, that is now just my own sense of order wants me to move this one over here, fill that hole, so that you don't end up with two different groups of these things. So I'm just moving it here. But that has no meaning except to fill a whole lot. What's another one here that you think states it well?
I like the ability to create and then sustain.
Ability to create and sustain. Yeah, the positive environment. Okay, another one. Okay. You know, I'm going to ask the reverse in a second. Which one do you like? So this is which one do you think states well? First. Any more? Okay, which one do you think if we worked on a little bit, you know, if we spent some time on it, we could do better?
Well, the ability to thoroughly plan and organize doesn't have that follow-up
Okay.
concept to it.
Something sort of in there, okay.
And I think that what I was saying is that that was an important.
We could work on that one a little bit. Okay, another one?
The manage conflict one, I didn't see courage as a part of, I don't, courage to address issues as they are, issues might not be conflict related.
Right. Okay, so that one, you could work on that one a little bit, the willingness to, and ability to manage conflict, okay? Now, and we could have more discussion about what you like, what are good, what you could change, but now let me ask, which one of these do you personally, are you personally good at? Like, there's some of these things you know you can do. So which are some of those, which ones do you know, okay, I'm okay at that, I know I can do that. That's a competency I have already. Let's get some people who haven't said anything yet. Brad, which of these up here do you know you can do?
I'm a planner.
A planner. Okay, that's a no-brainer for you. Okay. Yeah. Jennifer?
Listen actively and communicate clearly.
You can do that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Paula?
Create and sustain a positive environment.
Now let me ask the other, which one up here do you have trouble, you struggle with? Which one do you really struggle with, you know? It's either, it's not in your nature, or you're just not good at it. Andrew, what about you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the ability to remain neutral and non-judgmental. I always have an opinion that I want to express. I find that difficult, yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Can I just ask a question about that? And I know you threw yourself under the bus there, but I would bet most of us would have trouble with that one. Sooner or later, in the heat of battle, just as you did there,
Yes.
you know, and some of us experience, as you even may have slipped a little bit in that regard. That is so very tough to keep ourselves out of this.
It's
We're trying to
interesting.
assert ourselves, but yet be, boy, that's a tightrope.
So is there another one up here though that you personally struggle with? Or is that the biggie for you?
Oh, let's go again.
No, pick one. Or is that it?
Probably, at least half of one. I would say to trust the process. Right now, if I'm not really comfortable with it, I can't.
Can't trust it if you're not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Anybody else? What's another one you have trouble with? Yes?
I think for me, it's the ability to trust and follow the process as well, connect it to some of the other ones, and that we'll get there eventually, just like let the process happen and look at where we need to be, as opposed to moving and launching.
Yeah. Now what we're doing now, by the way, now is we're in this next section called resolve. Okay, we're in this part here. We got them created. Now we're talking about them to find out how real these things are and how important they are. That's what we're doing at this point, right? There's a whole series of things you can do in here and a whole series of questions. So I'm asking a few of them, you know. Another one to ask, probably useful, would be what's missing? Is there anything missing up here? You know, some big competency. You said, my God, how'd that miss? How do we miss that one? Anything missing up here?
I have a process question, but I don't know if I can ask it now.
Not just yet.
Okay.
Not just yet.
Fair enough.
But anything missing? Now, so you want to ask that question because someone might be sitting back there with one thing that occurred to them during the workshop that they haven't had a chance to, and if they say it, everyone might say, yeah, that's right, it's missing. So that's why you want to ask that question. But let's just say that we're taking the time to build a resolve, I would like to try something specifically now. And what I'd like to do is just make a pretend. Let's pretend. Let's pretend that we were going to form little task forces to write some paragraphs on these things. And to, okay, so we're pretending that we're going to form little task forces on these. So, you know, we got 3 people that work in this one, there's 3 that work in this one, there's 4 here, there's 2 here. Actually, this person should probably go and work on one of the other ones. So whose was this? You can pick a different one, you can go to something else, right? And this was yours, so you can pick a different one, right? And then there's stuff to handle later, okay?